Hey, what is going on, everybody? ScottDogGaming here. Thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to Tainted Grail. Now, Tainted Grail is a game based on a board game. It's actually was a Kickstarter game. I backed the game on Kickstarter. I haven't played it yet. I literally received delivery of it maybe a month ago and haven't got around to playing it. I should be playing it fairly soon, so I'm really looking forward to it. That being said, yesterday I did take it out of the box and play the tutorial of the board game. Because I just wanted to see if I can understand the differences between the electronic game and the board game. So I haven't got a huge experience with the board game, but I kind of know the basics. And what I'll be looking at today is what are the differences between the two. So Tainted Grail is a sort of a miniature-based game in a big box with a massive journal of exploration and sort of your adventure journal, essentially. So multiple choice options as you work through the game. It's co-op multiplayer. And essentially the story is you're all that's left in a land that is slowly being consumed by a sort of a darkness. Some heroes have gone out to try and find help and to stop that darkness and never returned. And you are essentially all that's left. There's these big things here that you're seeing are called menhirs, or menhirs, and they're essentially sort of lighting beacons that keep the darkness at bay, but they all seem to be fading and failing. And obviously your task is to try and keep them up and running. It's a card-based game, but it's an RPG. I'm really excited to try it. This is the early access demo, essentially. So it's very, very sort of brief first look. There will be bugs. Yeah, I obviously got sent a key because I kickstarted the game,
is dying.
and we'll go from there.
Its barren fields provide little food, and its crumbling walls offer no protection. As the power of the Guardian Menhir fails, the Wyrdness creeps ever closer, twisting places, creatures, and even space itself. Despite this, the people of the farmhold refuse to leave. Instead, Lord Yvain led 4 of their best on a desperate mission to Camelot. They promised to bring back help. They never returned. Now those left behind are growing desperate. They will try to bestow the burden of their fate on someone else. New heroes, with an even slimmer chance of success.
There we go. She said it far better than I did. So this game, I'm really looking forward to trying the board game first of all, more so than the video game, which I never thought I'd actually say. But one of the things I don't want to do is spoil the board game too much. It's I guess I'd liken it a little bit to Gloomhaven, which if you don't know is also a Kickstarter game, which has an electronic adaptation or port to PC that's also in early access. But with Gloomhaven, it's a big RPG adventure. I'd liken Gloomhaven, the board game, to as close as you're going to get to a video game on a table. Apart from those old Pac-Man arcade machines. Remember them? Anyway, what I would say about this is that this seems to be far more story-driven than Gloomhaven. That sounds a bit silly because Gloomhaven is kind of this entire campaign, but you can quite easily pick Gloomhaven up and play at any point, really. I mean, there's bits you'd lose out on, but there's a lot of standalone missions, whereas this feels more like a complete story. You know, you're always trying to achieve one thing, whereas Gloomhaven has you sort of picking what side you're working for, but the missions aren't that dissimilar. So I'm intrigued to find out how it works. We've got 2 choices of characters. I think we're going to go with the local smith, known for his short temper and incredible strength. Does his best to conceal a festering, unhealable wound. Interestingly, he does his best to hide this, but I think everybody knows about it. This is still a demo. Both characters have the same combat skills, so I think the combat skills they'll have chosen is Bjor here. So we're going to go with him.
You've been sitting in this dark hall for the better part of the day. The bitterness of your ale, a good match for the bitterness of your thoughts. They found you insufficient. They left you behind like a broken tool.
The wound in your side suddenly throbs. As you punch it in response, pain and rage overwhelming you for a moment. I don't know why this bit isn't voice acted. Only then you notice one of the farmhold's guardians standing in front of you, his mouth agape. What now? Raise your fist. You want some medicine too? Ignore him. So obviously we've got this RPG elements. Over here we've got our health, our resolve, and our sanity, and that's a big part of the game. Essentially, if your sanity creeps up, when you rest, you can have either dreams or nightmares, and they affect the story and will make you more exhausted, which is all a thing in the game. Down here we've got a key to Efrier's house or forge. We've got some mead and we've got some food. And food and experience and reputation are all things, as well as magic, are all things that you have to manage your levels in the board game. I don't know if they're in this. What now will be nice.
I am sorry, but it's your turn to lay an offering.
I like the way we said will be nice and we just shout, what now? Anyway. New quest, the godforsaken offering. It was not your turn today. And even if it were, you know the truth, the Menhirs' protection won't last. Oblivion stretches its cold hand towards Canuck's farmhold after claiming many other parts of Avalon. So Avalon being the world that we're in. Let the Wyrdness come and take this darn place. Begone, I am not in the mood to help anyone. What offering?
An offering to our Guardian Menhir. Have you been outside? The Wyrdness is close now, and Farmhold's ledger says you're next. Please, don't cause any trouble.
You must have read the ledger wrong. It's not my turn.
You changed our ledger. You are now first on the list.
Anger seethes in you again, causing your wound to burn. He did what? I want to speak to him.
He went out.
He went out? He went out? He just went out. What, into the Wyrdness outside? That can't end well. Forget it.
He's from bloody Camelot. We are not to question his methods. Please, just go and see to the offering.
Okay, so we're not going to get away from this. We're just going to go and do it. Time passes and your wound throbs again as something was trying to rip free and join the rolling clouds of Wyrdness outside. Sitting here any longer would be torture. Finish your drink. Okay, welcome to Tainted Grail Pre-Alpha. Since early access, please forgive us for interrupting your game to explain some things. Quick slots, so we have some quick slots at the bottom here. You can drag and drop items from your character's inventory and to the bar, easy to select. Weird candles, okay. You can press Alt on the keyboard to highlight any nearby locations. There's a lot of stuff happening here. The 4 screens in the top are shortcuts to certain things. Your quest log, your character sheet, your inventory, and your resting functionality. And you have 2 skills that you can use on the map and your character portrait. Double click the portrait to get into your character panel. Okay. And then we've got zoom in, zoom out, draw, movement path, details in demo locations only. Execute movement path ×2. Click right mouse button on the ground to deselect hero. Turn in quest log. Okay, so we've got some shortcuts. We won't worry about those too much. Okay, so now we're in what is this looks a little bit weird, but we're in a sort of an overtop view of the town. We look very big. This is the Menhir right here. There's a crazed dog over here. If I hold Alt, what else have we got? We've got the mead hall, which is where we were, the red priest camp, a crazed dog, connect in, and some gates. Okay, so we're going to head to the Menhir. Got very loud all of a sudden.
The local Menhir now towers above you, weathered and cracked, its ribbons flapping in the wind. The thought that this tired old thing is the only protection from pure weirdness outside of Farmhold sends shivers up your spine.
Okay. The connect Menhir. So these things actually they actually have these in the board game. So these are like plastic miniatures. I say they're miniatures. They're quite tall in comparison to your characters, and they have dials in. So you have to keep them alight. You have to keep them burning. So you have a timer counting down on these to obviously achieve objectives as you go. The local Menhir now towers above you, weathered and cracked, its ribbons flapping in the wind. The thought that this tired old thing is the only protection from pure weirdness outside the farmhold sends shivers up your spine. What's interesting about this, I did the tutorial yesterday in the board game, and essentially you go to your master, who's the blacksmith here, is F here or whatever his name is, can't remember, and he sends you on a quest to go and find some ingot that fell from the sky. So you're out searching for this, and when you come back, he's gone. And obviously the start of this indicates that he's left. So this is picking up from directly after that tutorial mission in the ball game, which I quite like.
Menhirs, raised by Merlin himself in the Age of Conquest, are said to have different appetites.
Okay, I mean, I question why this is red and the other bit wasn't, but fine.
The one before you seems to best respond to fresh blood, and its thirst is not easy to quench.
Okay, so we can find blood to do something with this. We can look for a sacrifice, or we can spill our own blood. So we're going to look for a sacrifice. Menhir can't be saved with animal blood, or can be, sorry, with animal blood, just as easily as with human. Unfortunately, livestock is now scarce and very expensive. You will need to hunt down some wild creature and drag it back to this place. Thought of chasing prey on the edge of Wyrdness makes you anxious, and your eyes slide past, and that's prison. Maybe there's another safer way. Okay, we're going to go here, and the prison is up here, but I think we're going to go and try and attack this dog, I guess. Okay. Each skill has a cost. So one cost. Apart from that, each skill has two effects. Immediate, such as direct damage, or momentum, influencing the next skill you can play. So 4 to 6 damage. So I'm guessing that's the immediate part. Lower your non-red runes to 0 momentum. If the next card is red, it costs 1 less energy. Okay. Click to continue. Each charge feeds the rune, providing a passive boost. Upon reaching maximum value, rune can be used to deliver its ultimate. It's up to you to consume the rune for the ultimate or maintain its accumulated bonus. Most skills can charge runes with their respective colours. Okay, so this is red, this is blue. I don't think this is part of the game, but I obviously haven't played it enough to know if there's this element in the board game. But there we go. This is your enemy's intent. Enemy will cast an effect on you. Enemy will deal damage. Enemy will heal self. The colour under the attack type icon indicates its target. For example, this means damage to your sanity. Okay, so I don't know how we... Oh, there we go. So these colours, I'm guessing, tie into the type of attack. Resolve. Fine. Okay. Your next skill effect. If the next card is red, generate 3, whatever these are, wounds. Okay. So this is the wounds done to the animal. Chance to avoid all damage from an attack. 0%. Chance to, which is this one. Chance to deal a critical hit, which is this one. Chance to resist any negative. 0. These are the positive and negative effects placed on you by enemies. Your actions. There are 4 types. Just shows me the colour. There isn't any highlight if you hover over them. Negative effects. One or all positive effects are displayed in gold, and all positive effects are displayed in gold. Okay. Reduces damage by the incoming %. So fine. Okay. Hey, good luck, everybody. So these are the cards that we've got. We've got a wolf which is going to attack us. It's going to do damage to our health. It's got 2% chance to crit, and it's got 50 HP. There's our health. We've got 120. Okay, so we can damage, lower your non-runes to 0. We're already at 0. If the next card is red, it costs 1 less. Okay. Well, we've got gain 10 armor for this turn. This charges our rune by 2 and is -1. So I think I'm going to play this card. So that's gone up to 2. We're now at 17%. And we're also drunk. Shield of Thorns. The next enemy attacks the next turn, any enemy that attacks you gets bleeding. Okay. This guy's blue, gain 20 armor. So we're going to hit this, and we're going to potentially give ourselves some armor. Okay, and this gives us a chance of... Oh, does that override the red one? Maybe. No, we didn't play the red one. Okay. We're going to play this one, which gives us a chance of crit, and when they attack us, they get bleeding, which they've already got up here. So this has already taken 5 damage per turn, and we've got a lot of red ones here. So Swift Strike. Reduce enemies' armor by 6 while they haven't got any. 8 to 16 damage, reduce enemies' armor by 6, and Shake the Mountain, 28 to 45, lower your armor by 20. Okay, so it feels like that one's a 3, so but it does have a 5% chance of critting. Oh, rubbish. I gambled and it didn't pay off. Duck and Run. So it's got more evasion. It's got a 26% chance to miss or to dodge. Remove all negative statuses. Doesn't sound like that would be too much of a... We are drunk. Okay, but we only need a little bit of damage. Okay, so we killed it. We were hoping to heal. We didn't. We've got some food. And we got a dog carcass, so I'm guessing I can take this back over here. And then we can burn the animal remains. You spill the blood to the feet of on the foot of the statue. The cracked stones drink greedily.
You feel the Menhirs' power surging.
Okay, so we managed to light it up for a little bit longer. We got 10 XP.
Once again, the Wyrdness is pushed back. Once again, the land returned to Kuanacht is smaller than before, barely reaching past the furthest buildings of the farmhold.
Bystanders disperse, and you sit down to catch your breath. Most of the people are now heading to the mead hall to raise a toast for yet another day. Kuanacht bought itself with blood. As you contemplate joining them, you notice a smaller group of villagers moving towards the abandoned houses on the edge of the farmhold, now safe. You catch some words about wealth they're hoping to find. The homes belong to the champions of Wyverns? Yavain. It's got to be that expedition. It might be a good idea to see what's happening over there, especially since the knight who rules Kuanacht doesn't seem to be around to stop the looting. Okay. And we've leveled up. Okay, so we can level up. We can get more attack skills, I'm guessing. What's this? Unending stamina. Oh, I see, okay. Can't do anything there. We're still drunk. We are still drunk. Okay. And we've got a journal over here. So let's go with the critical one. I know it's a bit pointless, but we're only trying it out. So okay. So we've got a new quest. So I'm guessing they're heading over here. The house is on the edge of town. It's got to be these, right? People gathered in front of Earfur's house argue loudly. Some of them are trying to stop the others from breaking the door down. It seems like the crowd wants to loot the house before the Wyrdness once again cuts off from the rest of the town. As much as you hate the idea of robbing your friend and mentor, you can't deny that Earfur's house, I say it differently every time, Ephra is most likely dead, and even if he wasn't, with the Wyrdness clouding roads and trails, it would be hard pressed to ever return. Step aside, I'll let you in. You push through the crowd and open the door with a key, trusted with you. Everyone enters the building and starts rummaging around. Seeing all these people looting his house Almost makes you hope he will never return to the aftermath. You better gather your tools scattered around a large workbench. You notice a piece of parchment on the floor under it. Did the draft carry it in from the table, or was it discarded? In this short note, your master explains the reason why Yvain did not take you on his quest. Young Lord of Connect believe you are too reckless. He saw your wound as a liability. Eofor never doubted you. He believed that should Yvain's expedition fail, you are the second best chance. So great, cheers. As you finish the letter, you notice some people reading it over your shoulder. Have you seen this? Bureau is going to save us. You take the letter back to the man. Sorry, you take the letter back. But the man slips by you, disappears into the distance, heading for the mead hall. You let a single resigned sigh. You should probably go to the elders. I lost the letter. Okay. Is there anything else in here that I can take? No. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. So I guess we're going to the mead hall. Click to select new skills. Oh, okay. So is this different to the leveling up thing that we did, or is this the same, or what? 4 to 8 damage to all enemies, gain 1 bleeding for each enemy hit. Is that us gain 1 bleeding or them? I'm not sure. Stun an enemy, discard all cards, and draw 5 new cards. That's pretty big. 8 to 14 damage if critical, apply bleeding. Okay, we're going to go with this one because we're trying to boost that critical. Fine. Okay, so we're going in here. The moment you enter the mead hall, all eyes turn towards you. The man who took your letter is here, flushed, panting. Next to him, you see the maimed knight himself.
Is that true? Did you know about this letter?
Whatever the letter says is not important. In the end, Eofor never delivered it. He could have changed his mind. Yes, I did.
Silence!
The knights turn to you and say, you choose to keep it a secret. You willingly rejected the responsibility and decided to pretend nothing had happened. His damning look stings deeply. Soon all townsfolk are gently escorted outside, ignoring the pleas of people who just started their drinks. Maimed knight returns to you the letter. Guards take their posts outside the door, making sure no one is eavesdropping by the outside wall. You're now alone with the knight. Try not to look at his bandages covering half of his face, or to think about the unsettling stories you've heard about him.
You today. I needed to see how well you deal with hardships and obstacles before I tell you the truth. When Lord Yvain left me in charge of this farmhold, I thought the task was beneath me. Turned out it's quite the opposite.
Look at his bandaged hands, and then he looks at his bandaged hands, and then he turns back towards you.
I cannot travel outside anymore. Will you help me?
What do you want me to do?
We have to find a way to strengthen the Menhir and buy more time, so that Yvain may finish his quest. Blood is not sufficient anymore. We need another source of power to lay at its feet.
Where should I look? Any ideas?
Before the purges, it was druids who took care of Menhirs. The one Yvain cast out from the city may still be alive. You may also ask someone who knows a thing or two about objects infused with magic. Your people speak about a witch in the woods to the west. Maybe she knows what could help our stone.
Okay, a priest or a witch are the 2 options. In days of old, before the purges, it was druids who took care of the Menhirs. Okay. Someone who knows a thing or two about the magic, so the witch. As a Wyrdness are just still outside the town, it's impossible to travel. He reaches for his satchel at his side and hands you a couple of candles made from strange dark wax. You shudder. I thought you would get to use one of these foul things. Weird candles make every one of them count. Some may still be brought around Connect, but they get scarcer by the day. And do not make the mistake of thinking their light turns you invulnerable. It helps keep peering too long into the weirdness. It's bound to look back. Sorry, if you keep peering into the weirdness, it's bound to look back. His hand touches the bandage on the side of his face. If you don't go out there, no one will. In weeks, the town will be swallowed whole. Don't wait until the weirdness is at your very doorstep. Okay, so we've got a new quest. Town management. Okay. So we've got some quests. We can either go... How do I move this, or don't I? Oh, there we go. Hold the middle mouse button down. So we need to go here or here. I think to begin with, we're going to go and try and attack this crazed dog. We might as well try and take this out before we begin. Okay, 2 crazed dogs. Oh my goodness. Okay, what have we got? We've got Steel Eater. 8 to 14 damage and reduced armor. 8 to 14 damage plus 2% from armor. Next card is a chance for crit equal to your armor. Okay, gain 10 armor. Damage 6 to 10 damage, place bleeding for 3 turns. 4 to 7 damage if an enemy has negative status. 16 to 28 damage. Well, neither of them have negative statuses. Okay, so I think we're going to boost our armor. Okay, nice. And then we have a chance to crit. So we've got to end our turn. We've got some protection, not a huge amount. What have we got going on here? Gain 100% resistance. So that would be useful if they were going to deploy a debuff, I guess. I guess resistance is for that. So let's use this one. Oh, hold on, we've got a chance to crit. So we might be able to kill this thing. And this one's going to attack us. I don't think we're going to have enough to kill it. So he evaded. We might do this. Let's try it. Yes, nice. Okay. So we got rid of one of them. The other one is about to hit us in the face. Ouchie. Okay. $13 to 22 damage. Shake the mountain. 45 to 77 damage and lower my armor. Remove all negative statuses. I mean, that one could kill it. But we missed entirely. Used all of our actions and got hit in the face. Which is not quite what we were hoping for. Okay, we're going to play this. Nice. Now we've got this, which is... Cost of all red cards costs 0 this turn, and their damage is increased by 100%. That would allow us to kill this thing. But why can't we play? Oh, we've got... Oh, no, okay, fine. Didn't look like he was going to let me play it, but... Fine, so we got to use a rune, and we got some food. Perfect. So I want to go into my inventory, and I guess I want to bring one of these things down here. Okay. And we want to come down here, right? How do we get down here? We have to come out this way. Okay, so I'm guessing when we use one of these things, Oh, we've got a fight. More crazed dogs. Very exciting stuff. Gain 10 armor for the turn and then hit him in the face a couple of times. See if we can get some bleeds on them. We can, nice. Okay. Ouchie. Okay, 47 damage. Lower your non-red zoom runes to 0. His armor. 4 to 7 damage if the enemy has negative status. 16 to 28 damage. How did you evade? God damn it. Okay. Oh, come on. He's on one. Oh, he's going to die anyway because of the wounds. So it's just this dude who's got evade. Okay. So gain some of this. We evaded that. We can't use either of these. All we can do is use this one, and I don't know if... I'm guessing we can't save these up. Okay, fine. Stop hitting me. Okay, so this one's costs nothing, so we might as well use it. So 12 to 19 damage. If the next card is blue, gain 20 armor. This one stuns them, so we did manage to hit him as well. Nice. Oh, we've still got room to... Beautiful. Okay, we'll take our food and we'll be on our way over here. So that was one turn. I don't know how long these candles last for. They last for 3 turns. A small stone clocklen looms in the mist. Over the years you've heard many tales about the man who lives there. Some of them were used to scare children. Soon you notice the smoke rising slowly from the hut's chimney. A group of men set up their makeshift camp in front of the door. It seems they are waiting for the druid to come out. The leader of the group looks at you from under his deep hood. His tattooed companions do not even honour you with a glance, but their unusual scars and crude clothing tell you everything. The Hill Tribe. Begone, it's your last warning. People who are kind enough to warn you before they unsheath their swords are a rarity these days. You approach the group slowly and calmly. Wasn't I clear enough? It's clear you're here to get help. What's the issue? I've seen Hill Tribes this close to connect before. You're smart, townie. Why would you even care? There's a hint of annoyance in his voice. You're walking on some thin ice. I want to get in. I don't. I want to get inside and you're in the way. Okay. The man slowly stands up. He's taller than anyone you've seen in your life. This group takes a step back unconsciously. You want to help out? Fine. We're starving. Go hunt, bring us enough food and we'll let you talk to the warlock. Alright, I'll bring you some food. Give them 5 food. We've got 9. Perfect. Let's sit with them. You sit with the Hill Tribe as refusing someone hospitality is said to bring bad luck. Over the modest meal, you have more time to talk. You quickly discover speaking with these barbarians is like wading through the bog. Usually we bring in mushrooms and plants for our parts in the hills to make ointment. He spends a day or two in the trance, waiting for it to brew. checks our condition, applies the medicine. This time we brought in more ingredients and asked to prepare more ointment for our wives, children. He refused. Says something out about his limited powers and keeps asking for more mushrooms. We tried to make him reconsider, but his damn stone hovel is protected with magic. We're trying to starve him out instead. I'll go inside. Got out the druid inside and give the scarred wooden door a push. Inside the clockland, the first thing you notice is a dense smell of rotting meat and human sweat. There's a man half lying on the bed in the corner, looking barely conscious. His hands are trembling. The door closes behind you. Introduce yourself. Well, I think what we're going to do is put a cut in here. Obviously, this is the demo, so I don't know how much there is of this. If you want to see more, you'll have to let me know. One thing that that the game has that I haven't seen in this, and maybe it's just because we haven't travelled far enough in, is the game also has a thing. Essentially, it has cards. So we have a card combat like this. But because you could be playing in a group, your cards have a little icon on which say whether they're aggression, whether they're whether they're a different type of skill. There's 3 types of skill. I can't remember exactly what they are for combat, and 3 types of skill for diplomacy. If you lay a card and then it's someone who you're playing with turn to lay, they have to be able to lay a card that matches the symbol. So you have to be able to build up this chain of attacks. Otherwise they can't go. So that's something that's quite interesting and I haven't seen in this game. The other thing is diplomacy. So where you've got combat cards, you've also got diplomacy cards. And if you turn up at a town and you're trying to barter for something or trying to strike a deal like we just did with those guys outside, there's also a combat chain, a diplomacy chain of sort of attack as well as a combat. So that's something I haven't seen here, and it'd be interesting to know if there's plans for that to ever appear in there. What I'm tempted to do, because I'm due to be playing the board game after Christmas, I'm tempted to wait until we've played the first mission, which I'm assuming is going to be similar to what we're encountering here, and then I can come back and give you a bit more view as to how the board game played out versus how the actual video game plays out. So let me know if you want to see that. This is on early access. I think it's available on Steam or available to add to a wish list on Steam. If not, keep an eye out for it. It's called Tainted Grail. I'm looking forward to the board game more than I am the video game, to be honest. But what I have played of the video game, I found quite interesting. I think it'd be good to get a little bit more clarity around the cards. Status effects will affect enemies or you, like the bleeding one. I wasn't 100% sure on that. But it'd be interesting to see what the other characters like, how it's going to work with multiple characters in the game, because you can play the game with, I think it's 4 people. I don't know if there's an expansion in the board game to take it up to 5, or I'm thinking of something else. But you can play with 4 people on the board game at the very least. So hopefully that encounters it. But how that's going to affect, and one of the big decisions you have to make in the board game, as far as I'm aware, is whether you stick together, which should make combat easier and diplomacy easier, or whether you split up, which obviously is going to make things harder, but you're going to be able to cover more ground. So that's the name of the game, Tainted Grail. I've enjoyed this little look at it. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoyed this one and check out the rest of the content. Please follow me on Twitter at ScottDogGaming, and I will see you all again soon. Thank you.